Good evening, welcome along to Guiseley AFC Radio. Chris Bell here at the racecourse ground. Alongside me is Nick Keefe. We are here for the Vanarama National League game between Wrexham AFC and Guiseley AFC. For Guiseley, a fairly unwanted run of 3 straight defeats, culminating on Saturday with a 3-0 defeat away at Forest Green Rovers. Wasn't a bad performance from Matt Bauer's side, but as we've said quite a lot this season here on Guiseley AFC Radio, the opposition were more clinical. We've missed a hatful of chances throughout this season, and frankly, that leaves the league table in not a particularly good position for Guiseley at the moment. Just the 4 points above the bottom 4. 3 points, though, behind Welling, who are just 1 place above us. So, alongside me, as I say, is Nick Keefe, who is currently straightening his glasses and finishing his salad. Salad at a football ground. I'm sorry, that's going to get brought up a bit. First things first, good evening, Nick. Are you well?
I'm very well. That's why I'm eating all this salad. And glad to be here. No, I'm doing a bit of wedding prep early. It's a long-term wedding prep strategy that includes apparently getting it ripped out of me for turning up at the football and opting for salad. But what a ground! Fantastic stadium we're in tonight. I feel like we're all walking around like fans who've won a competition sitting up here tonight. Really warm welcome from the Wrexham staff and officials, and we're comfortably in position. We've got the best view in the whole place, I think, and quite a night in store.
Absolutely, as you say, the stadium, it's quite phenomenal, really, isn't it, for little old Guiseley to be coming to a place like this, because this is a staggering stadium. I mean, to our left is possibly the biggest set of terracing I've ever seen in my life that sadly isn't used. It's, not fit for purpose, but you just look at that as a stand in itself and you just know that has seen many a footballing memory made.
Oh, it's very much like being at the Shea, sitting with the enormous unused terrace behind one goal. He said the rest of the ground's really nice.
Start as we mean to go on here, Nick. No, I completely agree. I mean, it's quite a contrast actually when you look at the terracing to our left-hand side compared to the stand opposite. This modern, funky shaped design of a stand opposite it. It really is an excellent stadium here at the racecourse ground.
It is, and we embarrassed ourselves on arrival, as I say, like fans who've won a competition, asking the stewards around the other side of the ground where the press entrance was, and they looked at us, and one chap said to me, "But are you press?" So,
well, I got a lovely welcome, if I'm honest. I mean, I arrived here a good hour or so before you and Matt did, and I got a lovely welcome and a friendly reception.
Oh, Matt Rogerson and I look like a pair of Chancer fans trying to score a freebie, I think, but nonetheless, we're up here.
Well, as I say, reflecting on Saturday's game, it was a 3-0 defeat. Didn't tell entirely the story. The first 20-25 minutes or so, I think Guiseley, we probably should have taken the lead. I mean, the referee, as we'll hear from Mark, it's rare that Mark gets on referees' backs, but he wasn't happy with the performance. 3-4 minutes in, cracking effort from Wayne Brooksby, a blatant corner, definitely saved by the keeper, and he gives a goal kick. Son have set the precedent from the referee on that game. Off the back of this run, though, Nick, how important is it to either get something here, or if we don't get anything here, how much more important do these next 2 home games against Boreham Wood and Welling United become?
Well, I think actually it's dangerous to make any single fixture the turning point, the pivotal moment, the crucial kind of must-win situation. It's early in the season. We're not that much further off the playoff zone than we are above the relegation zone. The league table's tight, but we risk getting sucked into it at the bottom of the table. But at the start of the season, you wouldn't have looked at an away trip to Wrexham and said, "Oh, if we don't get a win here, the season's going disastrously." So I think it's not time to overreact. I understand that it's hard to keep your head up when you're on a difficult run of results, and you'll hear that in Mark's voice as we listen to the interview.
Absolutely. Well, on Saturday, Colin Robertson spoke to Mark Bauer after the game.
Joined out by Mark Bauer after the 3-0 defeat at Forest Green. Always knew it was going to be a difficult place to come. What was your take on the overall performance today?
I thought the performance in general was quite good. Obviously it's a difficult place to come. They're going to create chance against you. They've created chance against every single side they've played. So, they're going to put you under pressure. But I thought we stood up to it reasonably well. didn't cut us to shreds. They had a few chances, but didn't cut us to shreds. And at the other end, I thought we had a few good openings as well. 1-0 at half time, you always feel you're in the game because we've had enough play to suggest that we can make more chances as the game opens up and we get further into it. But then the penalty's just an absolute joke, and 2-0 down. Then it's a real mountain to climb against a team at the top of the league, and lads are bitterly disappointed with how they've been looked after by the referees today.
And the goals as well, the timing, I presume, did the penalty as well, but the timing of the goals were just after we'd had good chances as well, and we might have snuck a goal, a lead, or an equaliser.
Exactly, it was the same on Tuesday night. We've had good chances before Macclesfield's second and third goals, and it makes such a difference, 1-1 or 2-0. It's obviously gives you a chance, but no, lads have given everything again. I thought we've got in some good areas. We've not managed to score again, which is a disappointment and a concern. But at 1-0, you always felt we had a really good chance. I felt we had a really good chance. Can make a few changes as it goes on, but they were just absolutely gift wrapped to go from the referee, and it's just so difficult to take. The last time this referee was in charge of us was the Aldershot game at home, and I think we got an apology from an assessor after his performance in that game. So he's kept up to form with. The goalkeeper makes a save from Wayne in the first 5 minutes out for a corner, and he gives a goal kick, and that just set the tone for it. It was just, when you come away to a place like this, you need all the help you can get, and we got nothing today.
That's the tone of the season, though, isn't it? We're going to come to big places like against teams like this, and it's going to be everything against us, isn't it, in these sort of games?
Well, you're going to get the odd decision go against you. I don't think we should have had as many go against us as much that was missed, and such a big decision that it was right in front of the referee. I don't think that should, at this level of football, those things should not be missed, and today it was missed. And it's cost us a game really, because I think at 2-0, you're looking for almost miracles really against a side like Forest Green to come back from that. But they kept going. I can't ask for any more from the efforts, and they kept going and kept looking for the ball, kept trying to play, trying to mix it up, and get it up to Dicko and Tom when they came on, and the chance it hits the post just kind of sums up the way it's going for us in front of goal at the moment, I think.
Great support though from the Guiseley fans today, 60 or so that came, travelled a long way down. It must have been a real boost to the side.
Of course it is, yeah. The lads really appreciate it. It's fantastic that they come down and support us, especially after a couple of defeats. And yeah, it's such a massive thing for us to have that support, and they outsung the Forest Green fans throughout the game, even when we were behind. Hopefully we'll give them a little bit something more to cheer about on Wednesday night at Wrexham, because we've lost 3 in a row now. We need to break that and get back, get some points on the board again.
And it's been a tough run of games, hasn't it, fixtures? I mean, Macclesfield and Lincoln are both teams that have started to hit form now. Today, obviously, Forest Green had a blip and they're hitting form again, or so it seems. And Wrexham is another tough test, isn't it?
We're in a run of tough games, and that's what it's about. I think, with the exception of the Macclesfield game, I think we could have certainly got something from Lincoln. I think we were more than in this game today, and could certainly have got something out of this one. So we've got to take heart from that performance. We need to be a bit more ruthless in the final third. We need to find a way to start scoring goals again, because we're making it difficult for ourselves if we can't score goals. But even Tuesday night, having watched it back, we got in good areas. We should have scored a couple of goals on Tuesday night, and we didn't take the chances. We've got to keep believing, keep getting in those areas, and hopefully sooner rather than later we'll start taking some of these chances and getting in front in games and not having to chase them. But yeah, we knew there'd be a little spell where results went against us, where things went against us, where some of the fixture list didn't help us in terms of going away to some of the bigger, better sides in the league. We've got to be strong. This is what we're here for. Got to dig it out, and no one will give us a chance again Wednesday night. We've got to go there and believe that we can go and match them and get a result.
Thanks, Mark.
That was Mark Bauer speaking to Colin Robertson after the game on Saturday, the 3-0 defeat away at Forest Green Rovers. And Nick, in there, he rued his luck, shall we say, or the bad luck and the bad decisions that have gone against us so far this season.
Yeah, well, I wasn't at the game, so I can't really comment on the referee in that game safely. But I mean, you heard in Mark's voice how much he was hurting after that, because there are games where we will put in a really good performance, and that he obviously feels things haven't gone fairly. And you know, and he's saying, we're not getting any favours, or we're not being looked after. What he's saying is, he's not saying that he wants to be looked after. He's saying he doesn't think that our team is getting 50-50, is getting fair treatment. Now, of course, no referee in the world is going to admit to that, but there is something behind it, which is that there are some professional clubs who play, in inverted commas, a slightly more professional game than we do. They do some of the little tricks, and so they have some little things that they do a little bit better maybe than we do, maybe that we don't want to do as part of our club's development. And what it looks like at the moment is like the little club isn't getting a fair shake, and the big teams that we're coming up against seem to be a little bit better than us in some cases, but getting a bit of extra help from the officials than they should. It's very difficult to know what truth there is behind that, but the bottom line is it's been a run of disappointing results against some of the best teams in the division and some of the higher placed teams in the division as well. He knows there's more of that coming up, and you can hear in his voice that this is difficult at the moment for him.
Absolutely. Well, on Saturday, one of the squad members celebrated his birthday. That man was Will Hatfield, and I caught up with him after the game on Saturday. I'm joined by Will Hatfield after Guiseley's 3-0 defeat at Forest Green Rovers. First of all, Will, happy birthday. Sadly, not the result you'd have wanted on the pitch.
No, thank you, but no, it's another disappointing result. So not what I wanted when I woke up this morning with a few cards and presents. But no, what can I say? It's hard to put a finger on it really. A few sloppy goals, unlucky decisions, and just things are going against us at the moment. But just said to the boys then we've got to believe, because when we do play football we're a good team, but we just need to have that cutting edge and stick it in the back of the net, and if we did get the first goal in a game would be I think we'd go on and we'd win games comfortably, but things aren't going our way at the moment, and we've just got to keep sticking together and keep going, and hopefully we can start scoring goals and start winning, because we need to get out of this run we're in at the moment.
After a really good opening 20-25 minutes or so, we just couldn't get the breakthrough. They get the goal, and from then on, how would you assess the game?
Yeah.
Was the fact that they were just clinical, perhaps, which is something that we've been lacking?
Yeah, maybe. Games? Yeah, we're not being clinical in recent games, and when chances came to them, took them. I think the second goal absolutely killed it. Really, it's a blatant handball from their player. What led to the penalty incident. So, like I said, things aren't going our way at the moment, and hopefully they'll change. And when they do change, we need to take advantage of it.
What was yours and the lads' take on specifically the penalty?
Well, the corner's come in, and I'm on the post, and he's put two hands up, and it's hit him straight into the hands, and it's gone straight into their player, and then obviously Gav's dived in a bit, but like I said, on another day the ref gives a free kick to us, and still 1-0. We stay in the game a bit longer, and you never know, when we had a few chances they could have gone in, and then again it's 1-1 and we go again, but it's just not going our way at the moment, is it? But you got to believe it's still early. Still plenty of games to play for, plenty of points. So there's no point looking at it in a negative way. We just got to keep going, keep believing, and hopefully get some more points on the board to get us back up the league.
That was Will Hatfield speaking after the game on Saturday away at Forest Green. Well, the two sets of players are out on the turf here at the racecourse ground in front of us, so we'll run through the two team lineups for you now. Starting with the home side with Wrexham, they look as follows: Cameron Belford, Javan Vidal, Sean Newton, Manny Smith, Blaine Hudson, Jamal Fifield, Dominic Vose, Connor Jennings, Adriano Moak, Robbie Evans and Adam Smith. On the bench for Wrexham, Mark Carrington, Caden Jackson, Ross White, John Nolan and Joe Quigley. And for Guiseley, Stephen Drench, Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Adam Lockwood, the captain, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Adam Boys, Gavin Rothery, Will Hatfield, George Maris and Rob Atkinson. On the bench, Dan Atkinson, Jake Lawler, Tom Craddock, Liam Dickinson and Nicky Boschel. Boschel? It's definitely Boschel. We've been having this issue where we've been going away from home. People, is it Boschel or Boschel?
I think now that we've been promoted and we're in the big time, maybe Bushell.
No, we stick to our roots.
We'd have to ask Grimsby or one of the places where Danny played when he was in the pro leagues and ask them what the professional pronunciation is.
Well, there's just a presentation taking place in the centre circle with presumably sponsors as well as the two captains over there. Connor Jennings for Wrexham and Adam Lockwood, the Guiseley captain. So, in terms of the formations, we're expecting Guiseley to line up with a 4-2-3-1. Steve Drench, back four of Ryan Toulson and Danilo at the fullback positions. Adam Lockwood and Rob Atkinson as centre halves. Then Danny Boschel and Will Hatfield sitting in as the two central midfielders. In front of them, George Maris on the left, Wayne Brooksby on the right, and Gavin Rothery in behind Adam Boys. Now there is a man that frankly could do with the performance. Adam Boys, just the 2 goals this season, hasn't had a great deal of game time, but off the back of 24 goals last season, somebody that frankly perhaps we expected to either play more or do better.
Well, as we're getting ready to watch kick-off, I have to say, in terms of the balance and the setup of the team, it looks very much like a last season team. You've got 3 behind Adam Boys the lone striker, and those 3, Brooksby, Rothery and Maris, can really play anywhere as kick-off is taken anywhere in that 3. We know that Maris will play on the right, Brooksby on the left if needed, Rothery can play on the right or the left as well. So there's potential for a bit of adjustment and ingenuity there. Although I do think he's starting everyone in probably their best positions. Brooksby is definitely his most effective on the right, and Maris does seem to be on the left so far.
Well, how do you feel George Maris has done? You know, it's relatively early in his career here at Guiseley. It's only a month-long loan, though, we have to remember.
Yeah, well, he's looked better than some of the young lads we've had on loan in the past. He looks like he's played a few games of competitive football and hasn't been just completely crowded out in his first few appearances. But apart from those odd flashes of individual moves and shots on goal, he hasn't had a chance yet to really show what he obviously will believe he's capable of producing.
Well, both sides at the moment just giving possession away back to each other. Ball now at the feet of Stephen Drench. He sends the ball right-footed downfield. Jamal Fifield gets his head onto it, sends it forward, comes back to Rob Atkinson. He looks to lay the ball into the path of Brooksby. It's been cut out by Sean Newton. We're expecting something along the lines of a 3-5-2/5-3-2 with the fullbacks of Sean Newton and Javan Vidal both pushing forward for Wrexham. Although it has to be said that even the Wrexham media staff weren't entirely convinced when they saw the team sheet of what the formation would be, as the ball's looked to be played forward through to Connor Jennings. But it's been intercepted well by Guiseley, and the ball rolled back to Steve Drench.
Yeah, and part of that comes from Wrexham's obviously recent indifferent form themselves. It's nearly a month since they scored a win, and there's a sense that the manager here is adjusting things and trying to find his best combination and formation at the moment.
As Gavin Rothery just nods the ball forward, gets into the penalty area. Fifield comes across though, does well, puts it out for a throw in, but it's a good chance for Guiseley to launch the ball into the box deep inside the Wrexham half. And it'll be Danny Lowe that's going to come forward to take this throw in. I did mention to one of the Wrexham media guys earlier on, you know, summing up our season is missed chances, and he said, welcome to the club. So there's perhaps 0-0 written all over it. Throw in taken by Lowe. Plays the 1-2 with Rothery. The ball returned into the feet of Hatfield. Now shot comes off, and Guiseley have got themselves a goal. I think it's
Wayne Brooksby.
It is. Wayne Brooksby diving in off that left-hand side, comes in, gets in field, strikes it right-footed beyond Cameron Belford in the Wrexham goal. And we've got less than 3 minutes on the clock, and Guiseley have sent the small cluster of trolling fans to our right-hand side into absolute raptures.
Well, that's not how we expected the game to start at all after going several games without a goal. Finding the back of the net has been the problem for Guiseley recently, and they've done it right at the start of this game, Chris.
It was Brooksby, wasn't it? It was a little bit hard to tell because it came from that far side. It's a very wide pitch compared to a lot we've seen.
We're a long way away. It's either Wayne or Gavin. We'll have to wait and see. I have to say, I know that we had the ball up at that end of the pitch and we were in an attacking position. It still felt like the goal came from nowhere.
It certainly seemed to. It certainly stunned the Wrexham crowd here at the racecourse ground. But what a start for Guiseley. 3 minutes or so on the clock. And Guiseley off the mark. It feels like a while since we've celebrated a Guiseley goal, in honesty.
Well,
Is Wrexham just struggling to clear the lines, perhaps keeping possession at the back, but Dominic Vose currently on the ball.
and that was Adam Boyes doing what he does well, which is closing down defenders, not giving them time on the ball. That's one of his real strengths, actually, when he's leading the line. He's not the big target man striker, but he is very mobile and he does work very hard.
Yeah, he's certainly going to have to put a shift in your field, but he started well at pressing that Wrexham back line. As the ball's played across to Jamal Fifield, the left hand of the three centre halves. Ball played forward into Jennings. Jennings is challenged well by Adam Lockwood, and the ball back to Danny Lowe. He just knocks that back to the goalkeeper, Steve Drench. So 5 minutes gone. Guiseley leading here at Wrexham by a 1-0. Danny Lowe just nods the ball forward, finds Gavin Rothery. Rothery looks to turn, unable to do so, and there's some good pressure from Dominic Vose. And Adriano Mo sends the ball back to Adam Lockwood. Lockwood goes long, looking to find Maris. Maris gets a touch on it, then loses it. Goes out of play, though, off a Wrexham man. It's Adam Smith over on that right-hand side. So we're on another throw-in for Guiseley, this time inside their own half. Danny Lowe will take it. Looks to go long down the line, up towards Adam Boyes. Boyes does get his head onto it, but can only flick it through, and back the ball goes to Cameron Belford in the Wrexham goal.
Now, I said before we started, Chris, we were trying to work out where the Guiseley fans were in the ground, and I said to you, what we need is a Guiseley goal, and then the only sound in the place will be the Guiseley fans, and that's how we'll find out where exactly they are. Now, it was really good of you to leave all of that dead airspace so we could have a really good listen.
That's, exactly why I did it.
To listen to the roaring dozens of Guiseley fans. Away to our right, actually, in this stand, also behind the dugouts. And they are in fine voice, actually. They've made themselves heard throughout the build-up.
Absolutely. Trying to throw in now for Guiseley on the halfway line, which Ryan Toulson will take. Sends this one long over the top of Brooksby. The referee says that Brooksby impeded one of the Wrexham players, so a free kick has been given. Don't forget, get in touch with us via Twitter. You can do so at Guiseley Radio. Let us know your thoughts and views on the commentary and the game. I'd say a rare Guiseley goal of late. On the way back from Forest Green, we were discussing in the car the lack of Guiseley goals as Wrexham now come forward down that right-hand side. Good fake shot, ball pulled back across by Adam Smith. Daniel Lowe able to get that one clear. But prior to this, 13 goals in 16 games, 4 of which, of course, came in that 4-4 draw against Woking. So when you look at it, really, 9 goals scored in 15. But already a goal up at Wrexham.
Yeah, it's easy to look at that, isn't it, and say that we're not scoring enough. But equally, if the defence is finding it easier and not as many people are having to drop as deep to help out with the defence, then you have more bodies forward and you do score more goals. So I don't think it's quite as simple as saying, oh, the strikers aren't scoring and the defenders are doing their job and the strikers need to join in. There's a lot more to it, and what we've had is some teams that are just flat out better than us, and then some other games where we've come close and then key parts of the game haven't gone our way.
Yeah, I think that really is the story of the season so far. Excellent challenge from Rob Atkinson. Prevents Connor Jennings getting through on goal. Now the ball at the feet of Wayne Brooksby. He looks to cut inside, then plays it over to George Maris on the left-hand side. He's up against Manny Smith. Still, Maris goes, gets to the edge of the 18-yard box, goes for goal. Blocked by a Wrexham defender, which falls into the path of Dominic Vose.
Just needed to pass there. Young Maris never had any intention. He saw an opportunity. He thought he was closed reasonably well by the defender.
Gavin Rothery was appealing for a free kick there, which he doesn't get. And Wrexham have got themselves a corner off the back of that.
Yeah, Adam Lockwood having to concede it. That was a moment of falling asleep for Guiseley.
Yeah, the throw-in was taken quickly. So we've got a corner which is going to be taken by Jennings, the captain. Played short to Vose. Back now to Jennings. Looks to deliver it. Blocked well by Danny Boschel. Good ball through, though, to pick out Dominic Vose. Inside the Guiseley penalty area. Takes it to the byline. Pulls it back across. Takes a deflection and goes behind for another Wrexham corner.
Yeah, and the home fans wanting to get behind their team. Obviously, for Wrexham, the sooner they get back into the game, the better for them. If they could equalise and get back on parity early in the game, then it really gives them a chance to go for all 3 points.
This corner's delivered in. It was almost sent goal bound by a Guiseley head there, but they have been able to scramble that away almost up to the halfway line. But Wrexham back in possession. Dominic Vose, the former Welling man, lifts the ball over to the edge of the 18-yard box. Really interesting little cross that, but Guiseley have got the ball away. Now, Wayne Brooksby challenging with Jevan Vidal. Brooksby does well, picks up possession. Back now to Danny Boschel. Returns the 1-2. Now the ball in field to Will Hatfield inside the centre circle, just inside the Wrexham half. What can Guiseley create from here? They're forced to go back to Adam Lockwood, and Guiseley happy to keep possession. As Boschel gives it back to Danny Lowe. Goes even further back now to Lockwood. It's played across to Rob Atkinson. Atkinson then sends a direct ball up towards Adam Boyes. Boyes loses out, but the header from Jevan Vidal falls into the path of Brooksby. Brooksby now finds Rothery, turns and shoots. Perhaps Brooksby should have gone for goal there instead of looking for the pass. Now Manny Smith up against George Maris on that far side. Maris does well and wins a throw.
Good passage of play for Guiseley, concerted possession, working their way up the pitch towards the edge of the Wrexham area.
We did get into a position there, though, when Brooksby had the ball and had a clear sight of goal, but instead of going for it, opted to try and find George Maris as the throw-in for Guiseley. A couple of passes later results in possession being given away. On the offside flag didn't come that I think Guiseley were waiting for, but Connor Jennings had stopped and the ball rolls out on that far side for a throw.
Well, it's a baffling thing about the new interpretation of the offside rule. They've got a player there, the captain Jennings, who stood about 15 yards offside, but he can't get flagged because he's standing still, obviously ignoring the play, which means the ball rolls out over everyone's head and goes out for a throw-in with Guiseley pinned back against the edge of their own penalty area when they should have a free kick from open play near the centre of the pitch.
Well, Daniel Lowe currently in possession, being closed down well by Adam Smith. Lowe does well, though, and plays the ball off Adam Smith and behind for a goal kick. Just want to point out, at the moment, the Sky Sports Score Centre app have got it down as a Gavin Rothery goal.
Well, I said it was one of those two.
We weren't entirely sure.
I couldn't. We're a long way away. We're not used to these big time stadia.
Either way, it was an excellent finish from Gavin Rothery.
That's fine. I mean, just justifying the selection. I mean, he's been every time he's played so far this season. I think he's been out on the left, and it's the first time he's played there in the hole.
Oh, that's a poor slip, unfortunately, there for Danny Boschel. Jevan Vidal was coming forward, and you can hear what the Wrexham fans think as that comes to little more than a throw-in for Wrexham. In a good position, has to be said.
That was good intervention by Danny Lowe.
Now Wrexham looking to come forward again. Here's Adriano Moak, the former FC Halifax Town man, finds Dominic Vose over on his left-hand side. He's a serious goal threat. But it's being shepherded well by Guiseley. Ball into the feet of Jennings. Now back to Adriano Moak. And he's being forced back to the halfway line. Goes across to Blaine Hudson, and he's giving that back to Fifield, and they're having to start from the back all over again. Good shepherding, good defensive work from Guiseley. Now Vose gets a bit of space, then forced to turn back. Still keeps possession, looks for the through ball for Connor Jennings. Met by groans from the home support. Didn't have too much on though, to be honest. But as it is, the ball rolls through into the hands for Steve Drench.
Apologies to anyone who was looking forward to the relaxing tones of Matt Rogerson. He was going to take part. He's done a runner when we come into the ground. I haven't seen him since we got here. He went in search of free pies, I think.
Even I didn't do that, and this is me. Now, Hatfield back to Rob Atkinson on the halfway line. Lumps it forward, nobody there, poor ball. Going to go all the way through to Cameron Belford.
Yeah, I might be wrong, Chris, but I have you down as a man who is willing to pay for his pies.
Well, yeah, that's true, but...
You don't look like a man who's only ever had free ones.
Are you trying to say that free pies don't come on that often? That's exactly what you're saying.
You're taking a shot on me for eating salad here in the press box.
You're eating salad at a football match.
Yeah, and decaf Pepsi. Deal with it.
Where's your gravy on that?
I had some pickled cucumbers as well.
A little bit of bad news, I think, is I was struggling to locate chips earlier, so unfortunately there won't be a chip advisor.
I was looking forward to appearing in my first
Ryan
chip advisor.
Toulson blatantly handballs that, but gets away with it, and the ball is played through to Wayne Brooksby on this right-hand side. Comes back to Toulson. How nobody saw that, I don't know. He was bringing it down, and it went off his chest onto his arm as the ball's played into the box. Comes up to Gavin Rothery, cleared away by Wrexham, up to the halfway line now with Connor Jennings. Jennings plays it out onto the right-hand side. Excellent pass. And now Adam Smith looks to come forward, making headway into the Guiseley penalty area on that far side. He's got Lowe and Lockwood ahead of him, though, and he's forced to go back. Ball back to Moke. 20, 25 yards out of goal. Shot from Dominic Vose. Steve Drench forced to tip it around the post.
Yeah, bounced just in front of Drench that. He had no option but to turn it round the corner. It's hard to tell from here whether it was just creeping inside or just going outside of the post. But a smart save from the Guiseley keeper.
Certainly had to be dealt with, and as I said, Dominic Vose is a serious goal threat. He's not afraid to have an effort. And it will be Vose to take this corner. It's been flicked off the back of a Wrexham man onto Danny Boschel and out for another corner. We've got 16 minutes on the clock as this corner comes in. Headed away by Guiseley. Danny Lowe completes the clearance. Now George Maris, he was challenging with Adam Smith. The ball goes out off the Wrexham man for a Guiseley throw. I completely lost my thoughts there.
It's all right. You might have been mesmerised like I am by the enormous screen that's in one of the boxes opposite us, which is actually showing the game live, I think.
Oh, wow, I think you're right. Sorry, we don't get this very often, do we?
That's extraordinary. That's indoors, so we can't see all of it, but they are actually showing the game in their own corporate boxes. You'd have to stand with your back to the pitch to watch it.
You may as well just turn around, really, surely.
Yeah.
As Ryan Toulson looks to play the ball forward, nobody there. Going to be easy for Finefield to deal with. Back to Belford. He wasn't entirely expecting that. As I say, do get in touch with us at Guiseley Radio. As the ball is played through to Connor Jennings, the flag goes up against him. The shot wasn't great and was saved and parried away by Steve Drench, but the flag went up against the Wrexham captain.
Well, he'd done really well there, hadn't he, Jennings? He'd split the two centre-backs, found himself in between Lockwood and Atkinson, who are talking to each other now and asking themselves, because they know they were rescued by the offside flag there, but had Jennings been a yard further back, it wouldn't have improved their chances of getting hold of him because he'd managed to slip away from both.
So, free kick to Guiseley. Midway inside the Guiseley half, Steve Drench takes it long. Goes looking to find Wayne Brooksby. Was the closest recipient on the end of that. Ryan Toulson puts in a good challenge on Robbie Evans and wins a throw-in. This is a good spell of play for guys that have defended relatively well so far. Steve Drench hasn't been tested too much. The ball from guys though back into the centre circle now with Daniel Lowe. Connor Jennings presses against him. The ball now at the feet of Rob Atkinson. Atkinson back to Lockwood again. Guiseley happy to just keep the ball for now. Lockwood lifts it forward though. Cut out by Sean Newton. Now Rothery. Across comes Adriano Moke. Another throw taken by Toulson into Boschel. Boschel was looking to get it in to the feet of Wayne Brooksby, but it rolls beyond him and out for a Wrexham throw deep inside their own half.
The job for Guiseley now is about consolidating. Wrexham have had some good opportunities. They've looked dangerous a little bit, and in possession, guys. They need to maybe slow it down a bit if they can.
Adam Smith does well, keeps the ball in play for Wrexham. Now Sean Newton. Newton sends it down his left-hand side. Jennings was tussling with Rob Atkinson as the ball bypasses the pair of them. And Lockwood gives it back to Steve Drench.
And this, of course, is supposed to be the advantage of playing with one up front. And Jennings is doing it really well at the moment with his movement, switching between Atkinson and Lockwood as to who he wants to play up against. And so there's no reason to think that if you've only got one striker, you're not going to make opportunities, because it is difficult for the defenders to coordinate. Because whoever's not picking up the lone striker has to be aware of the others following in the next row behind.
Now Toulson lifts it forward, finds Adam Boyes, brings it down, sends it back to Hatfield. He's been fouled by Robbie Evans. And a free kick goes in Guiseley's favour. 6 or 7 yards inside the Wrexham half. So Ryan Toulson is going to come across to take this free kick as the likes of Rob Atkinson and Adam Lockwood make their way forward.
Almost everybody in front of the free kick taker, in fact.
As the ball goes in, met by a Wrexham head and away, sent back in towards the Wrexham box by Dominic Vose. But Manny Smith able to deal with that and sends it downfield. The ball returned though, and now Rob Atkinson in a very advanced position. Picks up the ball, plays it over to that left-hand side, but Wrexham defend it well and regain possession.
Atkinson only now starting to admit defeat.
Great work though from George Maris. Now Maris pulls it back. He should be pulling it back. He didn't do it. Now with, I think it was Hatfield, comes across to Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby loses his touch, sends it back to Toulson. First time delivery, back into cross. Diving header there, comes as far as Maris and then is cleared away by Adriano Moak. Now Danny Lowe from the left-hand side delivers another good ball in, met by a Wrexham head on this occasion. The Wrexham fans frustrated that the home side struggling to clear their lines. Ball back at the feet of goalkeeper Cameron Belford. He does get it clear. Now Robbie Evans finds Jennings. Jennings loses it though. Good work from Rob Atkinson. Boschel. Now Brooksby. Rothery jumps over it. Boyes plays it out onto this right-hand side. He's got Newton ahead of him. As Rothery cross comes in into the hands of Cameron Belford. That seems to be met by ironic cheers there. I think Wrexham just pleased to have the ball in their possession.
Yeah, well, several good opportunities for Guiseley. And there I was saying before that Rob Atkinson had stayed up front an awfully long time throughout all of that as well. He clearly thought there were opportunities still on. Wrexham do look dangerous going forward as they're on the ball at the moment, but under pressure at the back, it looks like there might be something more in this for Guiseley tonight.
Now, Moak turns, plays it across to Jamal Fifield inside the Guiseley half. Now it's Sean Newton on his left-hand side. Good first-time ball into the feet of Dominic Vose. Vose up against Wayne Brooksby. Vose does well, turns back inside, now returns it to Newton. Back to Vose. Vose does well, turns inside, he's not afraid to shoot. And that is an absolutely fantastic goal from Dominic Vose. The number 8 for Wrexham does brilliantly well, comes in field, gets away from two Guiseley defenders and curls a fantastic shot into the bottom right corner, going in off the upright on his way in. Stunning goal, very little Steve Drench could do about that. Frustrating for Guiseley though, they've conceded the lead they had. It's now Wrexham 1, Guiseley 1.
Fantastic equaliser for the home side. You can hear what it means to the local fans. A perfect finish with the inside of his right foot, as you say, Chris, curled beyond the outstretched arm of Drench and curled in just inside, maybe even clipping the inside of the post as it nestled into the far corner. Absolutely perfect finish.
Yeah, absolutely. It did strike the bottom of the upright. I say perfect finish. Nothing that Drench could do about it. Did say before the goal threat with Dominic Vose can beat. That's his 5th of the season. So he's now the joint top goal scorer here at the racecourse ground for Wrexham. Now the ball with Sean Newton as Wrexham come forward, look to get a second quickly as Brooksby does well, although the free kick goes against him. For me, there's very little in that. Brooksby, he lifted his foot, but he completely won the ball. It was unchallenged, and he lifted it away, and play was happy to continue as far as I'm concerned. The referee's pulled it back.
I understand it. I understand it. I mean, the Wrexham player would say the reason it was uncontested was because he didn't want to duck his head into the foot. I don't know. I mean, it's in a grey area, really. I think if I was a Guiseley fan, I'd be disappointed if Brooksby wasn't trying to take that ball away with his foot. I can understand why the Wrexham player pulled out, worried for his head, and so the referee, well, that's why he's done it. He's pulled out because he didn't want kicking in the head, and the referee says, well, that's a high foot then.
Free kick now for Wrexham. 25 or so yards out. Connor Jennings. Well, it was absolutely wasted. There was 3 men over the free kick, and even you're shaking your head at that one, Nick.
Well, that was laughably bad. I mean, they obviously had something in mind that they wanted to do. They were too busy fussing about where the Guiseley men were, who, by the way, were all further back than the wall that the referee had set, and in the end, just sort of passed it out of play. It's frustrating that for the home fans, because they haven't seen a win in a while here either, and to see a good opportunity to go away without a meaningful attempt on goal, I can understand why they were disappointed.
So ball forward now from Guiseley. Adam Boyes does well, wins the header. George Maris, though, under pressure from Manny Smith, loses possession for Wrexham. And now Conor Jennings looks to go through, but the offside flag on that far side goes up, and that one, we were pretty much dead in line with it. Certainly a lot more contentious.
It's not offside, Chris. It's not. I mean, he's held the line really well that time.
There we go. Not contentious in the slightest, just a wrong decision.
I think so.
I tend to agree with you on that one. As Fifield gets his head, only sends it up into the air. Now back to the goal scorer, Vose. Back to Fifield. Fifield's first time crossover onto that right-hand side finds Adam Smith, the former Lincoln City and Chesterfield man. To bring it down that right-hand side, does well, gets the better of Daniel Lowe, pace to burn from Adam Smith. Smith gets to, got into the final third, and then tries to deliver and gets it all wrong. Out for a goal kick.
Yeah, not much final product there, but it gives Guiseley a chance to reset. Wrexham, as I said before the goal, they have looked dangerous going forward since the start of the game, and they've been looking like they only need the right opportunity to score. But they have looked vulnerable under pressure, as to be fair, Guiseley do, playing away from home in a big ground against a good team. I think there's more goals in this potentially tonight.
Yeah, I'm tempted to agree with you. I mean, we've had 2 in the first 27 minutes, and we have had a few decent half chances. Perhaps as Guiseley win a free kick, Gavin Rothery goes over the challenge from Adriano Moak to a free kick given. Ryan Toulson stood over it. He was thinking about taking it quickly, but he is going to wait for the likes of Atkinson and Lockwood to get forward. So plenty of yellow shirts getting forward. Stanley Lowe picks up Conor Jennings in the centre circle as the free kick is a very, very poor one from Ryan Toulson. Just gets to the first man and he's cleared away, and it gives Wrexham a great opportunity. They've got Dominic Foes in acres of space. As Adam Smith looks to come forward, instead he opts to turn back to that right-hand side, and Manny Smith was over there, and the pass was woeful. And even, well, basically everybody from a Wrexham media perspective is shaking their heads and the heads in the hands, and I'm fairly sure I heard one person's head hit the desk then.
Well, but Dominic Vos has stood in acres of space, and it's not just the Wrexham players who haven't seen him. He wasn't being marked by Ryan Toulson either, who was playing in tight against his centre-backs, narrower, and Vos was stood out there by himself, screaming for it for the whole of that move. I wouldn't leave him alone. If he can finish like he's shown already in this game, I wouldn't leave him there.
Yeah, everybody else in the stadium, probably 4,000 or so, I reckon, that we packed into the racecourse tonight. Everybody saw Dominic Vos in acres of space, apart from the people that mattered.
Yeah, well, it's a let-off for Guiseley.
Now, Will Hatfield comes forward, gives it to Ryan Toulson over on this right-hand side. We've got a minute or two short of half an hour gone. 1-1 here at the racecourse ground between Wrexham and Guiseley. Good passing play. Now finds Maris. Unfortunate there because a great tackle went in from Adriano Moak. And then Maris concedes a foul. Free kick taken by Fifield. He sends that back to the goalkeeper. Now with Blaine Hudson. Looks to switch it across this left-hand side. Somehow it has got through to find Dominic Vose. It wasn't a great ball at all. But Wrexham looks to come forward again through Robbie Evans. Evans just loses the ball. Drench does well. Clears it first time up towards Boys. Boys gets his head onto it. Now with Blaine Hudson, though, for Wrexham inside the centre circle.
Vital intervention by Will Hatfield there to dink it back to Drench. His energy is really helping out in that midfield at the moment.
Now Moak. Fifield. Side to Evans. Evans tried to find Vose. Back to Evans. One or two of the passes not sticking for both sides, to be honest, at this stage of the game. Now Evans finds Smith on the right-hand side. Danny Lowe is certainly going to have a job to do against him. We've seen on a couple of occasions when he's running in behind or when he's even got the ball at his feet, he has got pace to burn. The number 17 for Wrexham.
Yeah, and what that does is it forces Lowe to play deep. He knows he can't advance too far up the pitch because he's always going to need a 5 or a 10-yard head start against him in case a long ball goes through.
Wrexham in possession, deep inside the Guiseley half. So they try to work it to the 18-yard box. The cross comes across. It's cleared away by Guiseley, only out as far as Adriano Moak. I think he's got Adriano on his shirt, you know, rather than Moak.
He's got ideas above his station, hasn't he?
I was just thinking, the first thing I think of is that Brazil player that used to play for like Inter Milan.
Yeah. I don't think he ever played in the conference. So
that's the National League, I'll have you know.
Sorry, yes, it is the National League. It covers the whole of the nation. Sometimes only the north part.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Sometimes only the south part. It's brilliant branding, isn't it?
National League, but just the north,
National League
just
North,
the south.
or also known as the North League, surely. Well done. Someone paid a lot of money to have that change made.
Toulson does well, sends it back to Lockwood. A little bit of space.
They could have paid me half of that to tell them not to bother.
They could have given me a tenner and I'd have come up with something myself. I'd have saved them thousands, if not more.
Apart from anything, it's not the highest profile sporting competition in the world called the National League.
In fact, I'd just like to put, I'd have done it for a free pie, if I'm completely honest. Meanwhile, Joan Vidal looks to go forward, plays a great ball over to Adam Smith that is bearing down on goal, comes across, gets the shot off. Stephen Drench does well.
That's such a good save from Stephen Drench because he had to stand up and stand up and stand up, and the temptation as a keeper is to go in the direction that you think it's going to, but he had to stand and get both hands and his body behind it because that shot was fearsome, the pace that came in on it, and he did well, even though it was at the near post, to see it round safely rather than just parrying it down into the path of the oncoming player.
We've just spoken about the trouble and the pace that Adam Smith has, and that was a prime example. As the cross comes in from the corner, Stephen Drench does well, collects that very well before launching it downfield quickly and finds George Maris. Maris with two ahead of him, up against it. Adriano Moak. Maris won't give this up though. Belford almost got in trouble, but that was good pressing play from George Maris.
And what a pass that was by Stephen Drench.
I don't know if anybody saw the England 21s game last night, but in that, Joel Dixon, for the England's second goal from Nathan Redmond, played an absolutely stunning goal kick. We've got a Wrexham man down at the moment, by the way. It's Adriano Moak. He's just going to receive a bit of treatment, I think. But as I was going to say, last night, Joel Dixon played possibly one of the best long passes I've ever seen into Nathan Redmond, who took it down and finished it very well. And it was almost going to be something similar there because the ball from Steve Drench found George Maris, 30 yards out from goal? He had a bit of work to do and in the end couldn't do it, but the ball from Drench, superb.
Well, it was one of the ones that the regulars will know. The ones where Drench hits it, and it almost looks like he scuffed it, and it barely leaves the ground. It goes through at sort of shin height all the way through, and you think, why has he played that? And then you look to where it's going, and it arrives right on someone's feet. So Well done to him, and that shows that we can do something on the break. I was going to take the opportunity. There was a request from Callum Hayes, who I think in a previous life I used to know professionally, and so I will do the honours of reading the team sheet out by his request on Twitter about 10 minutes ago. Drench is in goal, obviously Toulson at right back, Danny Lowe at left back. The centre backs are the captain Adam Lockwood and Rob Atkinson. Will Hatfield and Danny Boschel are the two deep-lying midfielders today, and Gavin Rothery is in the centre behind Adam Boyes as the lone striker, with George Maris on the left wing and Wayne Brooksby on the right. And while all of that's going on, Chris, sad scenes.
Yeah, we have got a stretcher being brought on to take off Adriano Moak. Didn't seem to be a great deal in it. He did pull up slightly after the running race up against George Maris. And that certainly seems to be the end of his game, as Mark Carrington, the number 12 for Wrexham, gets stripped off, ready to come on. Meanwhile, everybody else on the pitch, both goalkeepers included, have taken this opportunity to come and take a drink, take on board some water. It's far from warm. It's quite a chilly night here in October in North Wales, as Adriano Moak is placed onto that stretcher and will be going off not the way he would have wanted to at all.
It's one of football commentary's great cliches that it's the innocuous off-the-ball injuries that are often the most serious. There's no reason to think that is always true, but as he's carried off by 4 stretcher bearers, physios and members of the St John's Ambulance volunteers who are in the ground. I have to say, I hope it's not as bad as it looks for him. It's the far side of the pitch to us, so we can't see exactly what's up with him. And good luck to him in his recovery.
Yeah, he's got a warm round of applause from everybody here inside the stadium as Mark Carrington comes on to replace Adriano Moak. So we have got, what have we got on the clock? 36 minutes gone. And it's Wrexham 1, Guiseley 1. As we say, Adriano Moak stretchered off and replaced by Mark Carrington. First substitute of the game made by Wrexham. The ball now back to Cameron Belford. It's a little bit short though. Belford just gets there to get the ball to Fifield, but Adam Boyes was bearing down on him. With some good work from Adam Boyes, great pressing play. On the ball with Blaine Hudson. Ball takes a little nick off the head of Danny Boschel. Bit of miscontrol there from Guiseley, and Wrexham have been punished. Wrexham have got themselves into the lead, a mix-up at the back, some poor control. I think from Ryan Toulson, who either slipped or just completely lost his bearings for a second there. And it severely cost Guiseley as they now trail by 2-1.
Well,
You're a little bit stunned.
If you ever wanted to see somebody wishing the ground would open up underneath him and swallow him up, you would just have to look at Ryan Toulson as he stayed down on the ground, face down, for nearly 30 seconds after that goal went in. He knew as soon as he'd made the slip that there was no way Drench would be able to save whatever came next, and that nobody would be able to get there in time to rescue the situation. And you really feel for any player who makes an error in that sort of situation. You don't want to be too harsh on the player, but it was a really, really costly mistake.
It was Dominic Vose that punished Guiseley there for his second goal of the game, and here he is as he brings the ball over the halfway line, pulls it back inside to find the substitute, Carrington. Spreads a good ball over to that right-hand side now with Adam Smith. Now Smith goes for the early cross. Lockwood heads it away. Finds Maris. Maris almost caught there, but does well. Turns, plays it across to this right-hand side. Neither Boys nor Brooksby, though, we're going to get that, but thanks to some poor, I was going to say poor passing play from Wrexham. Guiseley come away, but as soon as I say that, Guiseley give it away.
Well, it was a great challenge by Adam Boys again at the harrying and challenging to feet, but Guiseley just got themselves mixed up when they came back into possession. And this game looks like it could go in any direction at the moment.
It's not looking good currently. Trailing by 2 goals to 1, following I'm going to be kind and say a slip from Ryan Toulson that just gifted the ball to Dominic Vose. He was 8 yards out, if that.
Yeah.
And he just curled it into the same corner that he got the first. So 6 for the season for the former Welling United midfielder.
But Wrexham have not looked assured at all at the back and have looked very capable of making mistakes and letting Guiseley in.
As Jennings does well, battles hard against Lockwood, plays it out to that right hand side, looking for Smith. Daniel Lowe does well, does what he has to, blasts it into Rose Ed.
And perhaps the top priority with 5.5 minutes until half time is just to make sure that we don't go in any further behind. Having made such a good start and having shown that we can be very dangerous in the game, we need to get everyone in, mucking in, clearing the lines now, and try and get to half time at no worse than 2-1.
I would agree with you there. The ball now, Vose, 35 yards out of goal, centre of the Guiseley half. Back to Vose, a little bit further out now, after a 1-2 with Robbie Evans. And here is Conor Jennings now on the edge of the 18-yard box. Turns inside, looks to get onto his right foot, plays a good ball across to Evans. Evans is there, the shot comes in from Jennings, tame one, straight down the throat to Stephen Drench. Now, this Guiseley players look to go forward, Drench just takes his time slightly for this one. As he now sends it high up into the air and downfield. Brooksby rose for it, lost out though to Sean Newton. Now the ball with Vose over on this left-hand side. Now Jennings. Back to the Wrexham number 8. Jennings again, the captain. Good work from Will Hatfield. The ball from Fifield goes back to Belford. Now Blaine Hudson, good forward pass. Diagonally to find Fifield, who's advancing into unfamiliar territory for the number 6. A good ball forward, Sean Newton up against Brooksby. Cross comes in from Newton. It was more of a cross-come shot, to be honest. Drifted, thankfully, harmlessly wide of the upright, but good attacking play from the left wing-back.
Well, you're watching a team that's been in poor form see confidence return to their players. We're actually seeing it happen in front of our eyes after the start that Wrexham made, where they were 1-0 down in the first few minutes of the game. Suddenly now they believe that anything they try might get them something, and it's interesting to watch that happen in such a short space of time.
Yeah, there's certainly been a transition, hasn't there, in the way that Wrexham have played from the first minute to where we are now on the 42nd. As the ball comes forward, Boys up against Fifield. Fifield gets his head onto it, knocks it back towards Boschel. 50-50 challenge that. Results in Guiseley getting a throw-in, which Ryan Toulson will look to take. Now Rothery, back to Toulson. Inside again to Rothery. He's forced to send it back to Lockwood. Across to Atkinson. Rothery picks up the possession in the centre of the park and then has to go back again to the centre half. The ball now with Rob Atkinson. Lofted ball forward. Nice touch from Rothery. Puts it in the path of Brooksby. Brooksby just have a shot. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a little bit wound up. Again, there was acres of space. He was on the edge of the 18-yard box. And this is, for me, the problem that Guiseley have had this season, is we're getting into positions like that. Clear sight of goal, he just doesn't have a crack. He looks for the pass instead.
Well, it's very
It can't just be me that's getting frustrated at that kind of thing.
No, but it's very simple, Chris. Wayne Brooksby is a right-footed player. He's running across from the right to the left of the pitch. He's got a sight of goal, but he doesn't think if he puts his left foot through it that he's got a reasonable chance of getting it on target. I mean, that's why he's not taking the shot, because he doesn't think his left foot is worth a 20-yard shot. And I can understand why someone would be frustrated to watch that. But I can also understand why he says there's no point in me doing this and skying it over the bar or dribbling it wide of the goal, because you'll only have a go at me then as well.
Yeah, but he had a little bit of space there for me. If he wanted to, he could have put it onto his right. I say, for me personally, the issues have just been getting into good positions and looking for a pass. It's been the story of Guiseley season for me.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to be. I know it's easy for me to say this, but I don't want to be too critical as a good ball's played. Over onto that right hand side to find Adam Smith. Smith up against a couple of Guiseley players, Danny Lowe being one of them. George Maristow does well, wins the ball and looks to come forward. But for a team, as I say, that scored, when you think of it, 9 and 15, maybe the fact that we're not shooting that much, that's unfortunate there as Wayne Brooksby loses his footing on the surface. You can see in patches a little bit of moisture forming just from the drop in temperature. Just a little bit of slickness onto the surface. Brooksby, well, it's really unfortunate for Guiseley there because the free kick's been given. Your Wrexham's favourite. For me, there was nothing in that.
Okay, the mask is going to slip there. That's a dreadful decision by the referee. For goodness sake.
You can't be Mr. Exact All for the match, Nick.
Well, all right, I mean, I can try.
I'd rather you didn't. It makes me feel worse. It's Connor Jennings now does well. Comes down his left-hand side. He's got a little bit of space. He's been harried well, though, by Guiseley. Pulls the ball back into the central channel to find Robbie Evans. Good intercepting, into passing play there. Now Newton delivers across. Very dangerous one. And Danny Boschel just able to get that clear. The ball has been picked up by Javan Vidal. Now with Finefield forward to Jennings, back to Vidal. As we are going to see the ball go up for additional minutes time, we're going to see 5 minutes. 5 minutes of added time. We did have Adriano Moat going off on the stretcher. Didn't seem to take quite that long. But it's another 5 minutes for Guiseley to either A, hold on, or B, look for an equaliser. In this situation, I think, as you said before, it'd be tempted just to try and hold out till half-time, regroup. We started well in the first half. If we can do something like that in the second, there's no reason we can't get ourselves back on level terms. The ball, though, with Wrexham now deep inside the Guiseley half. Adam Smith does well, wins a throw-in off Adam Lockwood.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. With 5 minutes of added time, my first reaction would be to say 2-1 at half-time isn't the worst case scenario from here. No need to senselessly risk making it 3-1.
Absolutely. Now, Adam Smith receives the ball from the throw-in. He's supposed to go back to Blaine Hudson. He, in turn, is supposed to go back to Belford. Wrexham happy to keep possession at the moment for them. They'll be perfectly happy to go in 2-1 up at the break. Now, Javan Vidal, who is pushed forward into a more midfield role rather than the right back where he started. Now Vose, back to Finefield, just Guiseley sitting back a little bit, not pressing, but keeping in good shape, forcing Wrexham to try the sneaky little intricate passing that hasn't worked over this last few minutes. Watkins almost caught out of position there. Now the ball with Sean Newton again inside the Guiseley final third. Good ball back to Robbie Evans. Evans going to go for goal. Not the great effort, dragged it wide, but willing to have a go.
Yeah, absolutely, and don't misunderstand me, Chris. I understand the point you were making. You know, I would like to, you know, Guiseley, if you're looking for a Premier League equivalent, they're guilty a bit of being a bit Arsenal-ish at times and trying to wait for the very perfect opportunity before shooting. So I imagine if you looked at it, our shots to goals ratio is probably actually reasonably decent. But sometimes you do. I agree. Sometimes you need to put the defenders on their heels and take them by surprise and take an early shot and mix it up and have some variety. Completely agree with that. But also I think the truth is we're playing non-league semi-pro football. The players have limitations and some of them won't be very good on their weaker foot. Some of them aren't very good at shooting. That's the truth. We're in the 5th division of football, and it's not like playing Pro Evo where if you just have a go enough times, it'll just come off one of those times.
Other football games are available.
Sorry, FIFA. I always say Pro Evo. I'm so sorry. I'm so
You're so retro.
I am.
Oh, Pro Evo has been good for years. That's a lie. Apparently this year's is excellent. I haven't got it. Let's get back to the real football, though, as Adam Smith comes down the right-hand side. Up against Lockwood and Lowe. He's having to be closed down by 2 players. He's been a thorn in the side so far, concedes a free kick. There's the locals make their way for the half-time brew.
I'm just finishing mine from before the game. It's absolutely stone cold.
Yeah, I made sure to finish mine before, whilst it was hot.
It's colder than my salad was after 2.5 hours in Matt Rogerson's car.
Now, Lockwood in possession for Guiseley, bringing it up to the halfway line. There's a good ball over to that left-hand side. Back now with Maris. Plays the 1-2, makes it a 3-4 with Will Hatfield. Now Maris again. Guiseley having a little bit of possession as we get close to the half-time whistle. Ball forward now from Manny Smith. Intercepted, but Guiseley send that back to Steve Drench.
I would love to know. I mean, that was a really nice move, actually, by Guiseley. I would love to know what happened between Adam Boys and the defender that led to when the pass went through to Boys. Boys was down with his hands on the floor, and yet the referee hadn't seen a foul. I mean, it's not in Boys' interests to find himself tripped up and unable to go to the pass that's obviously coming his way, but the referee obviously doesn't see whatever's done.
He just didn't see a thing in that case. Steve Drench sends it downfield, and the referee, Carl Evans, puts the whistle to his lips and blows for the half-time whistle. It all started so brightly for Guiseley ahead after just 3 minutes. Excuse me, after Gavin Rothery put the ball into the back of the net after some good passing play. Caught Wrexham napping, to say the least, but from then on, Wrexham grew a bit. They've come into the game. 2 goals from Dominic Vose. The first, an excellent right-footed finish that curled beyond Stephen Drench. The second, Dominic Vose was the right man in the right place to capitalise on a slip from Ryan Toulson. It's not entirely the story. Guiseley have troubled, and frankly, for me, would have been deserved to go in level at the break, but that's not the case. Half-time here at the Racecourse Ground is Wrexham 2, Guiseley 1.
Yeah, really interesting half of football. Guiseley playing some of the best football I've seen them play actually recently, and up against a defence that looks ripe for playing attacking football against. It's obvious that Mark has seen this isn't a particularly large or physical Wrexham side, and has sent out some of his most intelligent players to go and work. And none of them are playing particularly badly. I don't see the case just yet for resorting to Route 1. But that option is at Mark's disposal in the second half. Obviously, with the options that are on the bench, there's Dickinson, Nicky Boschel, Tom Craddock, all available as attacking substitutions that he can make. And obviously, Jake Lawler available on the bench if he wants to change things in midfield. Perhaps use Will Hatfield further forward, as would be another quite logical suggestion if it carries on as it is. But for the time being, I think Guiseley didn't play too badly. I think 1-1 would have been a fair reflection at half-time. An awful second goal to concede, and Mark Bauer has a job to lift a few heads in the dressing room at half-time to make a game of it after the break.
Absolutely. So, half-time here at the Racecourse Ground. Wrexham 2, Guiseley 1. We're going to go and see if we can find another brew, or at least see if Nick can go and microwave his. We'll be back with you very, very shortly for full second half coverage. Welcome back to the racecourse ground here at Wrexham as the Guiseley players make their way back out, ready for the second half. Still awaiting the home side and the officials for that matter. The half-time score of Wrexham 2, Guiseley 1. Don't forget, get in touch with us on Twitter at Guiseley Radio. We've had a tweet from the Guiseley Lion, Nick. The Guiseley Lion's been in touch.
I don't know who does this. I've got a feeling it's someone with a foot inside the camp, but obviously it's no one here in the dressing room. Right. The tweet, I don't know why this has tickled me. I think it's because it's been such a disappointing last half hour or so. So the threat goes to at Guiseley Radio, which is where you can obviously find us on Twitter. You sort them boys on the pitch out, or I'll be roaring my way down to Wales and I won't be looking for leeks to eat. I don't know why, but that's really tickled me.
Oh dear. Meanwhile, Dave, I don't think he appreciated your tweet out as regards the cow-looking lion. It's clearly a lion, but he says that lion has nothing but good things to say about you, Nick.
Well,
stop insulting him.
It is definitely the most bovine of all the mascots I've known in our time in Guiseley AFC Radio. The players are out on the pitch, Chris. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It can only be a good thing from where we're sitting right now.
Do you think?
The only way, surely he's up for us after Lion talk. So it will be Wrexham who will get us back underway for this second half. I'll run you through the two team lineups in just a moment or so. Guiseley with work to do, taking the lead after just 3 minutes through Gavin Rothery, but succumbing to 2 goals from Dominic Vose to trail at the break. So as we get back underway, Wrexham in their home kit, red shirts, white shorts and red socks, shooting from left to right. Guiseley in the away kit of all yellow. The lineups are as follows. For Wrexham, Cameron Belford, Jaman Vidal, Sean Newton, Manny Smith, Blaine Hudson, Jamal Fifield, Dominic Vose, Connor Jennings, Mark Carrington, who came on as a substitute to replace Adriano Moak, Robbie Evans and Adam Smith. For Guiseley, Steve Drench, Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Adam Lockwood, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Adam Boys, Gavin Rothery, Will Hatfield, George Maris and Rob Atkinson. Here is Hatfield in possession, works hard, does well, gets the ball via a deflection to Maris, but then his ball over to that right-hand side gives Wayne Brooksby a lot of work to do. The defender Sean Newton there, more than capable of dealing with that. Now is Dominic Vose, the 2-goal scorer. The 2-time goal scorer in this game so far, plays a good ball out to Adam Smith on the right-hand side. Gets to the edge of the 18-yard box, pulls it across towards the red shirt in the middle. Surely, good defensive work there from Adam Lockwood, I think it was, to save his side. When I think it was Connor Jennings who was in acres of space, but he was being put under a lot of pressure from Adam Lockwood. And it touches off the Wrexham man behind for a goal kick.
That was a heroic intervention by Adam Lockwood. I was fully ready. I honestly thought I'd already seen it get hammered into the back of the net from 2 yards out. I was fully ready to give up. But thank goodness Adam Lockwood didn't. And it's just the 1-goal deficit.
Yeah, it was superb defending from Adam Lockwood. So we get back underway with a Steve Drench goal kick, which is met by a Wrexham head, sent forward by Blaine Hudson. And that goes all the way through and out for a throw-in on that far side. Which Ryan Toulson will take. And does so, goes long, down the line, nobody there in a yellow shirt to get anything on the end of it. Will Hatfield just lofts it forward. Manny Smith does well, poor touch from Gavin Rothery. Maris does well though, brings it down with a nice touch. Gives it back to Danny Lowe. First time ball, downfield, looking for Rothery. Rothery just loses out to Jaman Vidal. Certainly seems to be, as I alluded to, towards the last stage of that first half, effectively a 4-4-2 from the home side. Guiseley playing with the familiar 4-2-3-1. It's one of those that's switching, isn't it, Nick? The defensive line for Wrexham.
It does look like a back three with wing backs either side, but they've had Newton amongst others dropping in and out of the line. But I think it is a three with two fairly deep wing backs.
It's one of those formations that is flexible, depending on whether you're on the attack or having to defend.
Well, frankly, it's what gave us some opportunities in the first half, because it's flexible, but also it's slightly disorganised at times.
Yeah, the two fullbacks were pushed up, in particular, Javan Vidal.
Did you see the skill that we just saw there? The turn and the step over in midfield there from Vos.
He is, frankly, been a class above in this game so far. As Sean Newton comes down the left-hand side, plays the ball across the face of goal, no more than 3 or 4 yards away from the goal line. One of those that all it needed was a touch and it was surely going in. But it goes all the way across for a Wrexham throw. This must have taken a touch off somebody in the referee's eyes, but for me, it went all the way through. But a throw in it is to Wrexham, taken by Manny Smith. Carrington, the substitute, plays the ball forward off Danny Boschel. It goes back out for another throw. This one taken again by Manny Smith. Guys, they need to clear their lines up towards Adam Boyes. Boyes jumps but can't get a touch on it. Now Fifield sends it over to that left-hand side, looking to find Dominic Vos. His touch isn't the best. He was always struggling. It was a bouncing ball. And he goes out for a throw. Throw-in taken. Guiseley struggling to retain possession at the moment. Well, now with Adam Lockwood. Lockwood across to Danny Lowe, being chased down by the captain, Connor Jennings. Good footwork there from Danny Lowe, if not a little risky if he'd have got that one wrong. Now with Toulson, back to Rob Atkinson. He's going to loft the ball forward again, looking to find Boyes. It's just been given away though and intercepted easily by a Wrexham man, by Carrington. And now Adam Smith on this right side, cuts in field, gets away from Danny Lowe, plays a good ball into Carrington. The ball goes across, looking to find Robbie Evans. It had to be cut out, and it was by Rob Atkinson.
Well, last-ditch stuff there in the Guiseley penalty area, and it came from the fact that Adam Smith really does have Lowe's number tonight, and skipped away from him like he wasn't there that time.
It's been a very confident start to the second half from the home side as the offside flag goes up against Carrington. They've certainly started like they had a bit of a talking to in the dressing room at half-time. As I said in my first half roundup, for me, going at 1-0 would have been a fair result at the break. It was just the slip / miscontrol from Ryan Toulson that allowed Dominic Vos to get in easily to get his second. Looks like Jake Lawler's been sent out to go and warm up. Liam Dickinson already down there at this moment.
Well, Jake just came back actually for a quick drink from a bottle in the middle of quite a vigorous warm-up actually.
Now Vos plays it over to that left-hand side. Jennings looks like a lovely little back heel. Wrexham man goes down inside the box. Referee waves away the claims of a penalty.
Wasn't sure about that, and bit of a heart and mouth moment. And when I say I wasn't sure, I mean I wouldn't have been surprised if it was given. I wasn't surprised that it wasn't. It wasn't clear cut.
It was worth appealing for, but as I say, the referee had none of it. Robbie Evans goes down by the corner flag as challenge comes in from Ryan Toulson. He then clears that downfield. Now George Maris looking to get between two. George Maris bearing down on goal. Manny Smith, superb sliding challenge. Absolutely excellent tackle. And Wrexham have got themselves to throw.
Well, that's an absolutely wonderful intervention by their number 4, Smith. I mean, Maris was clear through on goal. The defenders there alongside him for company. Maris just about to let fly with his right foot, and the challenge comes in. And somehow he's managed to challenge it just in time enough that he cannons it back off Maris and out for a throw-in. Real perfect piece of defending for Wrexham. Both of the big men, I think, Chris, are ready to come on here.
Yeah, Jake Lawler and Liam Dickinson are both stripped on and ready to come on, the numbers 6 and 16. not surprised too much about the introduction of Liam Dickinson. Now Belford back to Fifield. Fifield looks to go for the long ball over the top, looking to find Jennings. Jennings made the run. Steve Drench, though, on the edge of his box does well.
I wonder who these two will be coming on for. Will Mark go two up front? Will he keep Adam Boyes on the pitch to carry an extra goal threat, or is he going to change, keep the system and take both Boyes and one of the midfielders off? I suspect Gavin Rothery may be one of the ones coming off, coming back from injury. He's not been heavily involved in the game, certainly since half-time anyway.
Yeah, you'd think perhaps a 4-4-2 as the boys nodded forward by Adam Boyes, appeals for the free kick and gets it. Most of the home side's frustrations. And I think, it's going to be...
Is that a red card, Chris?
Was that red? Can't have been. He's not leaving the pitch.
Well, he's standing still and refusing to go anywhere at the moment.
Well, it was Jamal Fifield. It must have been a yellow.
I would think it was a yellow because the keeper was still there
in
front. But so just to describe to people, it was a flick on, I think, from Boyes through the middle. Brooksby coming from the right in the D on the edge of the area, and he would have been through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and judged to have been brought down by the defender, who's obviously stayed on the pitch. It was just a bit strange because I couldn't see the referee was holding a card up, and you'd normally expect to see a bright yellow, but we couldn't see what was in his hand, and from how angry the defender looked, I wondered if it was a red card, but no. And a free kick to Guiseley. They're going to make the changes now. Actually, it's not Gavin Rothery coming off in midfield. It's Danny Boschel. You assume that would be a straight swap.
Like for like, you'd think there. Danny Boschel comes off, Jake Lawler comes on, and the second man, are we going 4-4-2, are we staying as we are, is George Maris, who's coming off. The referee is in trouble with Mark Bauer, it's fair to say, as the referee wanted to take that free kick after once had been made, but he completely forgot that Liam Dickinson was coming on, and Liam Dickinson is on now.
Oh well, Liam Dickinson wanted to make sure he was on because this is a free kick of the sort that he likes to take, and he's there ready to take it.
And it is Liam Dickinson, first touch. Oh my God, he smacked the crossbar. Oh, that was almost perfect. What a way to make an impact on a game that would have been. It's a superb right-footed free kick that strikes the top of the crossbar. Absolutely superb effort from the big man who's just stepped onto the pitch. Meanwhile, we've got a Wrexham man down. You're right, Nick. I kind of lost the will to... I lost myself there, didn't I? It was that good a free kick, though.
It was. I mean, the tragedy is that it cannoned off the bar and didn't go sneak slightly under it. Otherwise, it would have been the most perfect moment, I think, in football history.
What was great about that free kick was the fact that basically Liam Dickinson was still jogging on the pitch.
Well, barely
the
jogging.
The referee blew, though, and literally in one fell move from bench to ball, he just ran, continued his run, and took it.
Yeah.
In one fell swoop.
That's quite audacious. It's quite audacious.
What an effort, though.
The bigger question now is quite how Guiseley are going to line up in the meantime. It looks as though Boyes will be playing just behind Dickinson,
rather on the left.
Yeah, with Gavin coming out to the left, and so really a 4-4, and then one off of the main striker Dickinson. So a very traditional flat midfield four is how they're lining up, getting ready for the restart to play at the moment.
Well, a throw-in has been given. There was a bit of a stoppage in play there as the number 15, Robbie Evans, received a little bit of treatment. He's back on and play back underway with Adam Lockwood. Sends it back to Steve Drench. Sends it upfield. Flick on. Won by Liam Dickinson. Nobody there, though, to pick up the second ball. He's going to have a lot of work to do, you feel, up front. Liam Dickinson now trying to charge down the goalkeeper. The keeper does well and sends it across to Fifield. But as you say, it is basically a 4-4-1-1. As this crossfield ball looks to cause problems, and Danny Lowe, he only had the option really to get his head on it, and he's ended up conceding the corner kick.
I think he thought he was under more pressure from the 17 Smith there than he actually was, and that's what happens when a player's been so effective as Adam Smith has been, is that the defenders start to make mistakes.
Corner comes in. Jennings gets it.
Almost without being forced to.
The corner did come in then from Dominic Vose, and it was Conor Jennings that got something on it, but couldn't do any more than steer that well above the crossbar and wide of the post. So 58 and a half minutes just coming up to, and it remains Wrexham 2, Guiseley 1. What a chance that was for Guiseley with that free kick. So close. Meanwhile, Wrexham pressing forward. Guiseley have got a throw.
It certainly does something for our listener figures. We know there's at least one person whose surname is suspiciously similar to Liam's, who is continuing to has dragged herself away from DIY SOS. She says to.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't very appreciative of a tweet earlier. Glad the TV's good tonight, otherwise she'd be yawning by now.
It's a choice between
Have we been that bad?
Nick Knowles and
Nick Keefe.
Yeah. His beard is weak, mine is much stronger. Other than that,
there is quite a considerable amount of beard in the Guiseley AFC radio commentary team tonight, it has to be said. Same for glasses as well.
There is. It's what looks like a pair of coconuts wearing coats and glasses commentating on this game.
I'm not sure I appreciate that one, Nick, I'll be honest. I don't like being referred to as a coconut.
I'm not saying you are one. Just that your head. Anyway.
Let's just move on as Liam Dickinson wins the ball there, flicks it down to Boys. Now the ball played out to Ryan Toulson, brings it over the halfway line. Does well, turns back, gets himself a little bit of space. Ball forward from Lawler is woeful and is easy for Sean Newton to deal with. Good pressing play though from Wayne Brooksby. The ball somehow remains in play from Wrexham.
Got nothing against coconuts, some of my best friends are coconuts.
And now Conor Jennings on this left-hand side, up against Adam Lockwood. Jennings does well, gets the edge of the box, goes for goal, blocked well. It was Rob Atkinson that did well to get in front of the shot. But Newton now plays it down the left to find Evans. Evans wins his side, a corner kick. So a chance for Wrexham to put a bit of pressure on that Guiseley defence. On Steve Drench's goal.
Well, you'd certainly hope that Guiseley wouldn't be under as much pressure from the corner now, having taken two of the shorter players off and brought Lawler and Dickinson on. They're both in there inside the 6-yard area.
Corner comes in, headed away by Liam Dickinson. Now Adam Boyes is trying to put Vidal under a bit of pressure. Fifield lifts the ball over onto this right-hand side. Adam Smith still manages to get a touch on it whilst he was falling backwards, but Guiseley pick up possession. Very loose pass there from Gavin Rotheray, and somehow the referee hasn't given a free kick. I think it was just at the right decision, but you can hear what the home fans made of it.
No, I mean,
if he gets it wrong, it looked to me for a second he might have done it.
It's absolutely the right decision. It's a calamity of Guiseley's own making, but the Guiseley player lying on the floor basically hooked it away with his feet. I mean, it's as simple as that.
It was one of those, if he gets that slightly wrong, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Adam Lockwood and Conor Jennings challenging, and you can see just what you can hear rather what the fans are making. We can see what the Wrexham boss Gary Mills makes of that one as Guiseley look to come forward. They've got Gavin Rotheray inside the 18-yard box, can get a sight of goal. Go all the way through for a goal kick. It was one of those that almost took a touch of a Wrexham head on its way through, but it is a goal kick. And as you can see, as you can see, Nick, the Wrexham management team not particularly happy and berating the linesman on this near side.
Well, they're getting themselves unnecessarily worked up, I think. There was nothing much in that challenge between Lockwood and their forward. Much bigger should be the worry that Gavin Rotheray skipped past three of their defenders just a moment ago inside their penalty area.
Now the ball with Robbie Evans for Wrexham inside the Guiseley final third. Plays ball down to Sean Newton. Newton gets the crossing. Atkinson is there to get rid. Now with Brooksby looking to come over the halfway line. Does well. Gets it across to Gavin Rothery. Danny Lowe making a lung-busting run to get on the overlap, and he's there, and he's used him well. Comes too low. Lowe, first time cross. Possibly could have struck an arm there, but his arms were by his side there from Jamal Fifield. Now Jake Lawler. Poor pass, gives it away. Guiseley, though, pick up possession. Now Brooksby. Brooksby goes down. Excellent tackle from Vidal. Cross comes in from Daniel Lowe. Nobody there. Will Hatfield will look to put Newton under pressure. Newton does what he has to do. Gets rid first attempt. Guiseley head from Rob Atkinson. Puts that out of play for a Wrexham throw.
Thank you to whoever has defaced our account. Presumably one of the commentary team who couldn't be bothered turning up to Wrexham tonight with a beautiful photo of 2 coconuts. Well done. I presume that was Dave.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that will be Dave Kendra.
Colin doesn't have that sort of level of sense of humour, I don't think.
He is listening, you know.
Yeah.
He'll be in trouble as Dominic Vose looks to play the ball through to Evans. It was intercepted well.
And he hasn't done anything wrong, Colin, so why not have a go at him as well while I'm at it?
Toulson being put under pressure by Vose. Ball goes back to Stephen Drench. Drench clears it up towards Dickinson, who is in an absolute... Well, the referee's given a free kick in Liam Dickinson's favour. Both sets of both players there had their arms all over each other, to be honest.
Yeah, and Dickinson...
It was more like the ending of a rom-com than a challenge on a football field.
Yeah, Dickinson shuffling away from the area, not wanting to hang around in case the referee changes his mind on that one. Dangerous free kick, this.
And it is Gavin Rothery which stood over this one. Takes the free kick, right-footed into the box, met by a Guiseley head. Rob Atkinson, who got his head onto it, but it's easy with the goalkeeper, Cameron Belford, to deal with.
And it was a stooping header, wasn't it, by Atkinson? And I think it was difficult to get enough power on it to test the keeper, but also being straight at him made it easy for Belford to save.
65 minutes gone so far. Adam Smith with the ball for Wrexham. Plays it forward, finds Carrington. Carrington turns away from 2. Plays a good ball through to Jennings, but Jennings is just to be offside. Going to see another sub for Wrexham fairly shortly. Adam Smith is going to be the man to come off, and Joe Quigley is going to be the man to come on by the looks of it.
If you squint, it looks like it says Guiseley on the back of his shirt.
I'll give you that one, it does.
If they could bring a Guiseley player on for them, that would be quite handy right now.
Ball forward from Drench, hooked out of play by Wrexham man, and the substitution is going to happen. And as I say, Joe Quigley, the man that's coming on, and he's replacing number 17, Adam Smith. Is that a good game as Adam Smith? I think it's fair to say that we'll be fairly pleased to see the back of him. He's put in a great performance down that right-hand side, but Joe Quigley is going on up front. So the attacking threat hasn't decreased at all by bringing on Quigley instead of Adam Smith. Now Hatfield, ball back to Rob Atkinson. Inside the Wrexham half, plays the ball forward, looking to find Wayne Brooksby, does so. Guiseley just about retain possession, ball into the feet of Liam Dickinson now. Midway inside the Guiseley half, Dickinson's touch was nice, but then as he took it away from him, he lost the ball. Wrexham pick up possession, send the ball forward, all the way through to Steve Drench.
Yeah, I don't think Danny Lowe will be sorry to see the back of Adam Smith tonight. That his night's work isn't done yet, Lowe. It looks like the Wrexham are playing 2 up front now, matching up against Atkinson and Lockwood to try and pin them back.
Great bit of work though on that right hand side. The cross comes in. Adam Boys with the goal gaping, puts it wide. What a chance. He was always stretching. It wasn't the easiest of chances, if I'm completely honest, but from that kind of distance out, with the goal gaping, he just couldn't direct it inside of the upright. Instead sees it go behind for a goal kick. Another massive chance goes begging for Guiseley. Are you all right, Nick? You took your headphones off in disgust then.
But that's the chance that we wanted, wasn't it? That was the opportunity that we've been waiting for.
It was some excellent play from Ryan Toulson over on that right hand side.
And if Adam could have buried that there, that would have done absolute wonders for his confidence. He'd made a really good run to get in at the back post to steal ahead of the defender. He finds himself, he just has to time his contact right. It's his left foot, but all he has to do is put his foot through the ball. He's so close to goal, he can't miss it. It's just in the timing, and he timed it slightly too late, and so ended up putting it high and wide.
Huge chance. And as we said, as you allude to there, it was the finish of a man who isn't that confident at the moment up front.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get that confidence back. You just need a bit of luck or something to try and turn the tide.
As Wrexham looks to come forward through substitute Quigley, he concedes a free kick and is shown a yellow card for a foul on Rob Atkinson. Now that is preposterous, frankly.
I think what the referee's given there is he felt Guiseley were going to come out on the break, and that it was a cynical challenge to bring Atkinson down. I'm saying what I think the referee gave. I don't agree with it. It's not a booking.
I was going to say that's, to be fair, that can be the only thing that I can think of, because it's just not a booking.
No.
In a month of Sundays, never in a month of Sundays is that a booking.
No.
But he possibly won't complain. It means he's going to have to be a little bit careful, but he's only been on the pitch for less than 4 minutes, and he's picked up a yellow card. Stephen Drench takes this free kick diagonally up towards Dickinson. Dickinson does win it in the air, but nobody there to pick up the second ball. That's going to be the key thing now for Guiseley. Played up to Liam Dickinson as much as we want, but we have to get the second balls as Guiseley win themselves another free kick. And again, it's a soft one.
I don't agree with that decision by the referee either, but another dangerous free kick for Guiseley to take. Good
Chance for Atkinson, Lockwood, Dickinson, Alston in the box, Lawler's there as well, along with Adam Boys. So a free kick for Gavin Rothery. 70 minutes on the clock as the free kick goes in. It's a good one towards back post, and Guiseley have scored, and it's Liam Dickinson. Liam Dickinson on the score sheet. First goal of the season from open play, his fourth in total. Excellent delivery from Gavin Rothery, and Guiseley have got themselves level through the substitute. Wrexham 2, Guiseley 2.
Well, Gavin put up his left arm. He gave the signal that of the free kick he was going to make. He lofted it towards the far post, curling in. It just needed the right head to meet it, and the head was that of Liam Dickinson. 2-2. I know if I was a Wrexham fan, Chris, I would be feeling very hard done by at this point. The free kick, we should go back and say, was just
not a free kick.
Well, it was a Guiseley player. I think it was Hatfield, maybe stood with his back to the Wrexham player.
Excellent ball over the top, finds Wayne Brooksby on that right hand side. He's got 2 men ahead of him. Instead, Liam Dickinson does well, gets there but can't control it as well. Really unfortunate, because that was a really good ball out to that right hand side, lifted over the top. Guiseley retain possession. We've got, as I say, less than 20 minutes to go. Still time though, and Guiseley looking a little bit more confident at the moment. Can't afford to do anything stupid, it has to be said. But the way that things have gone for Wrexham, with free kicks going against them, maybe that little bit of luck that Mark Bauer was saying we weren't getting in games.
Well, I mean, in retrospect, the Wrexham player did come and run into the Guiseley player, so he stood the Guiseley player with his back to the Wrexham area, and the Wrexham defenders come up and sort of run into him from behind. The sort of physical challenge you see 100 times in a game, it was because he ran towards him and hammered into him that it caught the referee's attention.
Good flick on from Liam Dickinson, looking to find Boys. It's been dealt with by Wrexham. Now Rothery and Brooksby putting them under pressure. The ball played forward by Wrexham, finds Daniel Lowe. Hatfield's, well, he did quite well there, to be fair, to get there ahead of Carrington. Carrington wasn't pulling out of that one. And the throw-in goes for Guiseley. It's the ball returned by the supporter just to Mark Bauer. He wipes it off on his jacket, gives it to Danny Lowe. Lowe sends it down the line. Adam Boys loses out to Javan Vidal. Now Hatfield, he's just looking to get his head down and make a bit of headway down this left-hand side, wins his side of throw-in. I don't know how Javan Vidal thought that was his throw then, but
it was a good challenge by Vidal. He slid in, he collected the ball, took it out of play, picked it up with his hands.
He was convinced, wasn't he, that it was his throw.
Unbelievable.
Daniel Lowe now with the throw, finds Liam Dickinson. Home fans cry for handball, not given. Will Hatfield, though, picks up the ball. He looks to lift it into the penalty area, dealt with by Blaine Hudson and away. And now Joe Quigley looks to get it forward to Jennings. Great sliding challenge, though, from Jake Lawler. And the ball over to Toulson. Guiseley enjoying a little bit of a good spell. We haven't had a spell like this for a little while, to be honest.
And both strikers, Boys and Dickinson, begging for the early ball there.
It was Brooksby was trying to get involved there. Now the ball with Lawler. Now Toulson inside the Wrexham half into the feet of Liam Dickinson. Dickinson's touch wasn't great. In fact, it was frankly a bit awful. But
sorry, Bev.
Long ball forward from Wrexham. Goes out of play off Connor Jennings for a Guiseley throw. 10 yards or so away from the halfway line. Toulson goes long down the line once again. Liam Dickinson the target. Goes out of play off him. And that's met by a few ironic cheers over on that far side from the home supporters. 74 minutes gone. Guiseley holding Wrexham here. 2-2 at the racecourse ground. Now Dominic Vose. It's inside the centre circle, plays it forward to Quigley. Back to Vose. He's got both the goals for the home side. Plays the ball across this right-hand side, finds Manny Smith. Back to Vose. Adam Boyes challenging, but Vose comes away with it. He was always going to struggle there. Neat footwork from Adam Boyes. Now the ball with Rothery, still inside the Guiseley half. Lifted over to Danny Lowe, who was making the forward run. He's played a good ball down his left-hand side to find Dickinson, who was sprinting. He goes down. He's caught by the defender without a doubt. Nick, you're killing yourself laughing here, mate.
Well, I mean, it was a long busting. Let's call it a sprint.
Was it slow motion though?
It was brilliant, and then I think what Dicko did was he foxed the defender by how slowly he turned. And the defender didn't even realise he was still there and ended up taking him down off the ball with the ball about 10 yards away.
Free kick now for Gavin Rothery. Plays it towards the back post, looking for that one again. The keeper's dropped it, but is then able to get it. But it seems to take a touch off a Wrexham man, almost like he was just bringing it down for the keeper to pick it up.
Well, that's an outrageous pass back. The keeper's fumbled it in the area, and the defenders brought it down and tapped it back towards the keeper for the keeper to pick up.
No doubt Mark Bauer will have something to say on that one. Can't blame him either. It looked absolutely blatant. Now the ball with Hatfield, still inside the Wrexham half. Now Lawler. Now Danny Lowe. Inside to Rothery. Looking to find Boyes. Boyes had called for it. The ball came to him, but then went all the way through. I don't know whether he just missed his touch, was deliberately dumbing it for Dickinson or what there, but...
Sarcastic jeering by Wrexham of their own goalkeeper there. He's only made one mistake. That's a little bit cruel.
Could have been costly. Frankly, it should have been, because it should have been, what is it, an indirect free kick?
Yeah, well, some days you make your mistakes in the box and you get punished with a goal, and some days you get away with it.
We've seen both
We have.
in this game.
We have, one for each team.
Sadly, it was costly for Guiseley. Throwing now for Manny Smith. Plays the 1-2 with Quigley. Back to Smith. Experienced centre half. Good footwork from the former Walsall man. Manny Smith does well. Plays it back to Dominic Vose. Turns away from Lawler. Plays it across to Jamal Fifield. Fifield looks to come forward. He was in uncharted territory there for an out-and-out centre half. Ran into Brooksby, but Vose is there to pick up the loose ball. Now for Smith. Good shape from Guiseley, making it hard for Wrexham to break through at the moment, as Wrexham look for that killer ball. Back to Fifield. Just inside the Guiseley half, long ball forward. This isn't the killer ball, as Jake Lawler, well, he's put it out for a throw. For me, he must have seen a touch off a Guiseley man there, because he's prevented a corner, which for me, I thought he was shielding it for a goal kick.
I'm not sure. I mean, Mark has turned away and shaken his head in the dugout down here. I'm not quite sure. I think your explanation is the only one that makes sense, Chris. He could have seen that out safely for a goal kick, but instead he gave Wrexham a throw in. It's come to nothing, and it gives us a chance to really appreciate the noise the Guiseley fans are making down the way to our right. We can't see them, but we've been able to hear them all evening. They only have 2 songs, but they've been singing them both.
Hey, you should have heard them at Forest Green. They had the full repertoire out. It was excellent.
Both songs?
More than that. They must have made some up on the way down. It's quite a long journey.
Well,
Wrexham have got themselves a corner.
At the moment, it is the Guiseley boys making all the noise as the song repeatedly goes. But there's a corner to try and see out here.
There is. The likes of Hudson are in there. The free kick at the corner, is taken short. Eventually the cross does come in. He's met by a Wrexham head. Not sent goal bound, though. Now comes to Manny Smith on this right-hand side. Back to Carrington. Carrington delivers a good ball into the penalty area. Headed away. Half cleared away by Brooksby. Just needs a Guiseley player to get a foot through it and clear the danger. And Rothery wins the free kick. That'll do nicely, I think, in this situation. Just takes a little bit of pressure off that Guiseley back line.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. I agree with that one. I don't care what the Wrexham fans think around us particularly. Rothery's been clipped in the back of the head. And he's absolutely right to receive a free kick for that foul. Yeah, the noise in the ground would definitely be more than just the Guiseley boys if Wrexham were to score a winner again here, having started the game going behind in the first few minutes and worked their way back into front. The home fans will feel that Guiseley were here for the taking at the moment.
Ball forward from Drench. Brought down by Liam Dickinson, given away by Will Hatfield. Just to remind you, the 3 subs unused so far on the Guiseley bench: Tom Craddock, Nicky Boschel, and subkeeper Dan Atkinson. Now Wrexham have the ball inside the Guiseley final third at the edge of the 18-yard box. It's Dominic Vose. Looks to play the ball through to Sean Newton. Newton making the overlapping run. Cross comes in, and Rob Atkinson is there to deal with it. And it goes for a Wrexham throw. Yep, it's going to be a Wrexham throw.
And Guiseley are deep inside their own area, only a handful of players further forward than the edge of the box.
Final 10 plus added time to go. As Wrexham has the ball. Newton pulls it back across. 3 red shirts in the air. Javan Vidal was up for it, cleared away by Rob Atkinson. Up to Dickinson, superb turn from Dickinson, and he's played through. Adam Boys bearing down on goal. Wayne Hudson ahead of him. Adam Boys! Oh, what a goal! Adam Boys, superb turn and pass from Liam Dickinson, and that is absolutely brilliant from Adam Boys. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. He needed that. A brilliant finish, right-footed, beyond Cameron Belford. What a goal from Adam Boys. Guiseley lead 3-2.
Well, that was an absolutely extraordinary goal. Adam Boys through with the defender coming alongside him, ready to make the challenge. It was now or never for Boys. He had to take the shot, and he thrashed it into the back of the goal from on the edge of the area. I mean, completely at odds with all the finishing we've seen from Guiseley all through the season so far. And utter confidence, utter strength and precision and power behind that shot. 3-2 to Guiseley with less than 10 minutes on the clock.
My God, did he need that. What an emphatic finish from Adam Boys. Oh, that is stunning. And we have 8.5 what are going to be nerve-jangling minutes remaining, because if there's one thing Wrexham are going to just do now, they're going to throw absolutely everything at Guiseley. Have we got the mettle to see this through? We'll find out.
Yeah, we will, and we won't have to wait long either.
Do you want to take a picture of the scoreboard? It looks rather good.
Well, I remember the last time I was feeling despondent at a game that we went 3-2 up in against a team we were looking outmatched by at half-time. So,
now Brooksby
I'll be careful.
Brings it down this right-hand side. Gets a cross in, too close to the goalkeeper. And again, he's met with ironic choose. Poor Belford, he only had that one clanger, which it didn't even cost him in the end.
Oh, that's cruel. That's unnecessary.
I never thought I'd hear you say something cruel and unnecessary.
Oh, don't like embarrassing people and having I genuinely
You called
don't.
me a coconut.
Well, admittedly, that's because you look like one.
Will Hatfield looks to get the ball clear. It ricochets off Robbie Evans all the way through to Steve Drench.
And in fairness, it deserves context. What I said was that as a team, we look like a pair of
Glasses,
bespectacled
coconuts with
coconuts.
glasses. Let's just keep it simple. That's what guys need to do as the ball comes towards Adam Boys. Seamless. Now Danny Lowe
because
gets his
we're
head
so
on it,
alike.
sends it forward. Manny Smith lets that run through the goalkeeper. We are going to see a third and final change very soon for the home side for Wrexham. It's going to be
Caden Jackson coming on.
Yep. And I'm just going to take a random punt here, but I'm going to hazard a guess that he's a striker as we go into the final. This is going to seem to go on forever, isn't it?
It's unlikely
Hatfield picks up the ball, sends it back to Drench. No,
it's unlikely they need a fourth centre-back on the pitch at the moment, if that's what you're guessing, yeah.
All right, Mr. Sarcastic.
No, I was just saying your logic makes perfect sense. It would be disappointing if they made a defensive change right now.
Depends.
Oh, no.
Some managers would chuck a massive centre-half into the box and see what he can do in the mix.
Yeah, well, we have done. It's Dickinson.
What an assist. He smashed the crossbar with that free kick earlier on.
Yeah, that was the assist. He rattled them.
What an assist that was through for Adam Boys. And, of course, he's gone the score sheet as well. Wrexham, though, on the edge of the Guiseley 18-yard box. Red shirts absolutely everywhere. The ball at the feet of Connor Jennings. Jennings plays it back to Manny Smith. Manny Smith delivers the cross towards the back post. Headed back across goal. Rockwood gets up there and can clear it away so far. But Guiseley well and truly camped in their own third right now. Not even in the half. Deep inside their own third that they're defending. As Dominic Vose goes up against Adam Boys. Boys brings him down. It's a free kick. We can't argue with that one. It is a free kick.
No, it's the sort of challenge Boys oftentimes very well, but in that situation, I think he felt like he just had to make a challenge.
And this says it all, really. Blaine Hudson, the centre-back, going off. Although he himself is an absolute man mountain, so he may have proved handy. But he's going off, and on comes number 14, Caden Jackson. So, free kick. And this is in perfect Sean Newton territory. He's an excellent set-piece specialist. Wicked left foot. And this is very much in Sean Newton territory. There's a three-man wall. Rothery, Toulson and Lawler. Sean Newton steps up, drills it into the wall. I'd like to think I've jinxed him there as the ball goes back in. Rob Atkinson gets his hand to it. He's caught by a Wrexham man. The free kick goes against Wrexham, much to the home fans' displeasure. Inside the final 5 plus added time to go. Rob Atkinson still down. He's just about getting to his feet. It didn't catch him in the face. I think it caught him somewhere around the chest. It wasn't particularly high boot. He was just stooping a bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a bit like the one we saw in the first half. It was high enough with the player stooping that it could be considered a foul. And I guess if the ref gave the one earlier against Wayne Brooksby, then he gives this one as well.
Now Drench sends the free kick long downfield. Liam Dickinson can't get anything on it. It's been returned to Guiseley. Hatfield just nods that forward, out of play. The Lions leading at the Dragons by 3-2. Gavin Rothery does well, does very well. Winter throwing off Connor Jennings there. I expected more of a reaction from the home fans than if I was honest, but.
Well, I think that some of them are at the stage where they would almost blame their team rather than the officials for any decisions or anything that goes against them at the moment because they've seen a bad. Well, no, but you get the impression.
Sorry, it was the ball forward from Lockwood that cracked me up then because.
Oh, sorry.
Gavin Rothery went up for it, was spinning in the air, and he just plays it out of play off his back.
That's beautiful.
If Messi had done that, it would have been magical.
Yeah.
Sadly, it went out of play. The ball now with Wayne Brooksby. Back to Lawler. Now with Hatfield inside the Wrexham half. Now Rothery. Of course, this with the first 90 minutes he'll have completed. And he's been shown a red card. The challenge comes in from Gavin Rothery. It was mistimed, but it wasn't reckless. His feet weren't off the ground particularly. May have gone in two-footed though, and that maybe what's seen the referee show a red card, the first red card of the season, and it's gone to Gavin Rothery.
Well, that's
take on that, Nick.
That's a confusing turn of events. Rothery, correct me if I'm mistaken, Chris. Rothery had the ball and was turning with it in midfield, played it slightly ahead of himself.
I think he thought of.
He went to ground to continue playing it. I didn't see contact with the player. Rothery arguing with the fourth.
He's arguing with the fourth official on his near side. I think she was just more bothered about keeping him away from the Wrexham management team.
And now Danny Hall, I think, is walking, and Luke Porritt are walking Gavin down the touchline, who's absolutely furious.
So free kick now taken by Fifield, deep inside the Guiseley area. Flicked across goal. There's a flag up on his near side for offside. We've got a minute and a half, and I reckon we'll probably be looking at 3, possibly even 4 of added time. Guiseley down to 10 men for the first time this season. A straight red card for Gavin Rothery, who has had a very good game, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's looked a lot better, playing more centrally in the first half. And then as a traditional left winger, he's not a striker or an inside forward at this level really, and he has been a lot more effective today as he works his way back to full fitness. And
what I was going to say, and that's I think I was about to, as he put the challenge in, that this was, or was about to become, his first full 90 minutes at this rate since return from injury. The referee has seen that cut short. As now Dominic Foles picks up the ball for Wrexham inside the Guiseley half.
Can I say it now and get it out of the way? At 3-3 wouldn't be a disaster.
Cross comes in, met by Wrexham head, sent goal bound easy for Steve Drench. I had visions then, mate. As soon as you said that, of the next thing that's happening being a Wrexham goal.
Yeah.
We're in an excellent position, it has to be said.
Yeah.
But let's look at the bright side. Let's hang on. Let's be positive. Let's forget I screamed, oh, you just shoot earlier on. Let's be positive about this. Yeah. Adam Boyes has scored a belter. Liam Dickinson comes on and makes a fantastic impact.
Well, and let's not forget Jake Lawler has come on and really helped shorten the midfield with Will Hatfield, who's having an excellent game in there. The problem has always been with Guiseley has been the cutting edge of the final product, and we've scored 3 goals tonight.
Poor touch from Caden Jackson, takes out of play. 4 minutes added time. That's the cue for a few of the home fans to make their way out of the racecourse ground. Ball back inside the centre circle with Fifield.
Well,
plays a good ball through to Vose. Good work from Wayne Brooksby.
I don't know how bad Wrexham have been recently that fans feel they need to leave the ground with their team only 1 goal behind, playing against 10 men with 4 minutes of injury time to play. Wouldn't you want to stay and see if...
It's one of my absolute pet hates, but let's not set me off on this one as Wrexham...
We don't have time.
Look to come forward. We don't. There's only 3.5 minutes to go. As the ball goes out of play from a Wrexham man for a goal kick.
And this is now...
Can Steve Drench just hold the ball for 3 minutes? That would be grand.
That would be lovely if that was allowed. We've now got Adam Boyes playing as an out-and-out left-sided midfielder. He was in there communicating with Lowe and Lockwood on leaving that ball to let it roll through at speed but safely wide of the goal.
This would be... We've played very, very well. Take nothing away from the performance, but beforehand, after the run of 3 straight defeats against sides of a similar ilk and stature to Wrexham, we may have been forgiven for coming to this and thinking we'd take a point. We may still have to as Caden Jackson looks to come forward. Gets to the right-hand side of the 18-yard box, gets to the byline, pulls it back across. Surely it's blocked, and it is in! Absolute heartbreak. I think it's the captain, Connor Jennings, that's got the touch and put it in beyond Steve Drench in about 4 Guiseley players on the line. Oh, well, absolutely gutted.
It shows the impact a substitution can make. It was the freshman, Caden Jackson, up against Danny Lowe, almost on the byline. We're both coughing. We're both out of voice now. Danny Lowe, after the turning over and the real difficult time he's been given by Smith throughout this game, obviously on his last legs, Jackson went around him like he wasn't there and squared it into the box, and from there it just needed someone to prod it home for Wrexham, and eventually somebody did, and it's 3-3.
Well, the scoreboard to our right was flashing up as Dominic Vose, the goal scorer. It is. It's a hat-trick for that man. 3-3. Still a minute to go. Wrexham looking to come forward and completely break Guiseley hearts. Now Carrington gets it to the edge of the box. Touch there. Challenge comes in from a Guiseley man. They've got to try and scramble this away. The cross comes in from Sean Newton. Met by a Wrexham head. Cleared away by Adam Boyes. And now Lawler. Free kick goes in Guiseley's favour. And you think with 40 seconds to go, you hope with 40 seconds to go that for Guiseley, that is that. We're not going to commit from this free kick. Not with 10 men. It wouldn't be worth it. We'll take a point from North Wales. As I was frustratingly saying in the build-up to that third goal, we'd have probably taken a point at the start of the game. And sadly,
it's been such an up and down game with the early goal going behind and 2-1 behind at half-time, coming back to being in front. It's difficult to know who deserves what from this game.
Liam Dickinson puts in a strong shoulder challenge. He plays a good ball down the right-hand side. Sadly, the free kick goes against him. On the plus side, we've scored 3 goals away from home. We've put in a very good performance as the Wrexham fans are urging their team forward.
Well, we're 20 seconds past the added time played and they're passing it around in the backline, Wrexham.
Joan Vidal trying to get himself between Boyes and the ball. Boyes does well, sticks it out for a throw-in. Deep inside the Guiseley half. Manny Smith is going to be the man. The manager of Wrexham, Gary Mills, is urging absolutely everybody forward. Nobody's really listening though. And the referee puts the whistle to his lips. A handful of boos come out from this home support. What we've witnessed is an excellent game of football between two very good footballing sides. Full time here at the racecourse ground is Wrexham 3, Guiseley 3.
Well, what an exhausting and energising, at the same time, game of football we've seen tonight. From the goal in the first few minutes of the game from Guiseley to both sides looking shaky and vulnerable in defence, leading to the score being 2-1 to Wrexham at half-time, to Guiseley coming from that scoreline to be a goal up with the last few minutes of the game to be played, with the substitutions having made an enormous difference as Wrexham's defence started to tire and show holes in the back line. And then the red card for Gavin Rothery, and even though there wasn't much of the game left to see out, immediately the rejigging of the formation, the man short, how deep Guiseley were pushed by Wrexham under pressure, making it so difficult to clear their lines. And then the tiredness in defence against the fresh legs of Caden Jackson, leading to an almost inevitable equaliser. It's been a heck of a game. It's hard to know how to feel. The Wrexham fans are clearly deeply unhappy with the point from the game. I think we feel a bit unhappy with the point from the game as well, having been a goal ahead with so little of the match still to play. And maybe with both teams unsatisfied, having both conceded 3 and both having scored 3, you have to say honours even, and a point each is probably about fair.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to get the take of Mark Bowett, see what he has to say. Just a quick reminder of the order of scoring. Guiseley went ahead after just 3 minutes through Gavin Rothery before Dominic Vose equalised in superb fashion. It was Vose again then that got on the score sheet shortly before half-time, capitalising on a slip from Ryan Toulson 8 yards out from goal. And then Guiseley, in the second half, they came out well. They got themselves on level terms. Gavin Rothery, free kick, dropped into the box and was met by the head of Liam Dickinson. That's made it 2-2. And then an excellent turn and pass from Liam Dickinson on the halfway line sent Adam Boyes through on goal. He had one defender to beat and did so. And he got through on goal and absolutely buried it. Superb goal. Then the red card for Gavin Rothery. I'd need to see it again to have a more of an opinion on it, if I'm completely honest. There didn't seem to be much in it, as he just lost control of the ball and tried to recover it. The referee gives a red card. And then late on, very late on, the equaliser from I thought was Connor Jennings, but the ball gave it to Dominic Vos to complete a hat-trick. But 3-3, we leave here with a point, which, as I say, beforehand, Nick, we probably would have taken that. It's just disappointing the way it's come, because we were leading 3-2 with less than 10 to go.
Well, it shows there's plenty of fighting spirit in this Guiseley side, and there's plenty of potential to score goals. And one of these weeks, we're going to string it all together, and we're going to give someone a really good hiding.
Don't say that.
But until then, the fight to get points on the board continues. And today we came to North Wales, to a huge club in Wrexham, and a huge stadium in the Racecourse Stadium. And we leave with a very creditable point. We know it could have been more. We have to hold on to that as hope for the future. But we didn't come and disgrace ourselves. We didn't come and get thrashed by one of the big boys. And maybe that's not such a bad outcome.
Absolutely. We've ended the losing streak, at least. That's a positive. Liam Dickinson gets his first goal from open play as well as a positive. Sadly, had the first red card of the season as well. But all in all, an excellent performance, and we'll take a point. It should have been 3, but we'll take a point. And onwards we go to Saturday's game at home to Boreham Wood. If you can't make it down to Nethermore, of course, you can hear that here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Theory, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We hope we haven't put you through the ringer too much. Until Saturday, ta-ra.